The second thing that he did for all of us is he brought about restoration. We see this within healing the sick, right? I want to outline some of his works and things that he demonstrated. And then we're going to get into the scripture and it's going to all come together for you. So he healed the sick, right? So what was that? It was restoration. He was restoring people back to their original function, let's say, okay? So healing were just random miracles. It wasn't like he was just walking around and said, oh, I'm gonna heal this person just because. No, it was very strategic, right? The people were restored back into an economic flow, right? If you think about it, if a man or a woman who had a responsibility in their family structure or their community, now they have ailments that's holding them back to perform their duties, right? To multiply their resources, then therefore that's what? Promoting lack. So he restored the person back into their original condition for economic purposes, right? For social purposes, right? To restore the community of people, most importantly, to restore members of family. Why? Because the grand scheme of it was for communal participation, right? Now, why does this matter? Because sick people are excluded from systems, okay? I want you to write that word down, systems, because when we understand how systems operate, we're going to really understand how the kingdom of heaven operates, okay? Now, because healing brings about reintegration, okay? This is what I was referring to when you're dealing with getting people back to their families, getting people back into their community. Now, why does this matter? It matters. It matters, Chris, because we cannot build stable families or communities when our mind and our emotions and our spirits are fractured. Okay, I'm going to say that again for you. And this is very, very important. I want you to write this down, right? He came to liberate us mentally and also spiritually, okay? This is why people like to go through theatrics and drama and trauma and things of that nature, right? And like to keep these things going. Why? Because it is from three factors. It is from psychological oppression. The second, it is from behavioral bondage. The third, it is from identity distortion. And that is all because you are not liberated. Now, write this down. Write this down. Stewardship and distribution. Now, we can find this and see this in feeding the multitudes, okay? In feeding the multitudes, right? The feeding of the multitudes demonstrated something for us. It demonstrated from a disciple point of view and perspective, delegation, okay? Giving everybody roles, giving everybody a responsibility to carry out. Okay. Now think about this. If you have thousands of people gathered in one area, there had to be a high level of order. Okay. So that's the second part. It had to have a high level of order. So this indicates to me that we as families, we as individuals, we as communities cannot be running amok, in the words of Mama D, running amok in the kingdom, doing whatever it is we want to do. Why? Because that can cause chaos when that happens. So Yeshua demonstrated this to us, right? He demonstrated order. He demonstrated delegation with the disciples. And most importantly, he demonstrated stewardship. Nothing was wasted during this time. It matters because he demonstrated a few things for us. He demonstrated logistics, right? He demonstrated leadership. And he demonstrated supply management. This is what families have to understand. Supply management in all areas of life, right? We're talking about mental, we're talking about emotional, we're talking about spiritual, right? And we're talking about physical as well, too. Okay? And economically. So I will categorize this or call it supply management. Why? Because we're supplying goods and services, tangible things that we can use to multiply for our family, for our community, for our zip codes, that we can fulfill the assignment that was given to us. Okay. Now, this is the prototype for community.